Good afternoon, parents, future college students. My name is John Bruno, and I'm here to talk today about a crisis that affects a lot of graduates, and hopefully with this information you will not be part of the statistics. We're here to talk about today the student loan crisis. As you can see, there's some words up here that you guys are going to get very familiar with. Cosigners, approval, denied, room and board, grants, rates, tuition, debt. Unfortunately, you guys are going to become very familiar with these words. As you can see in this graph, from 1993 to 2014, the debt incurred by today's graduates has gone up quite a bit. In 1993, it was just under $10,000. Today, it is just under $35,000, about $33,000 on average for each college student graduating has that much debt when they finish college, and that's a 4-year degree. Also, the amount of money borrowed since 2007 has just doubled. In 2007, it was $516 billion. Now it is at $1,096 million. So it has doubled in 7 years. And that's due to the rising cost of the colleges. Also, this amount of money here, that debt is only second into the mortgage debt in the United States. It surpasses everything else: credit cards, auto, personal loans. It's the second largest amount of debt. Also, when you go for your degrees, as you move on in your degrees, if you go for your master's or PhD, the amount of debt increases. As you can see here, a medical degree. In 2012, the person incurred $161,000 in debt. It had gone up by $123 in 2004, so $40,000 had increased. Well, you're saying to yourself, he's going to be a doctor, so he'll have money to spend to take care of that. But you also have to start out as a doctor. You're just starting out. You're not going to be making as much as, say, a person who's been a doctor for 15, 20 years. Here's a little humor from Monsters, Inc. They're saying, who's the really scary, creepy guy? And he says, our financial aid counselor. And you see him right there. Kind of funny. This graph shows you student loans that are 90 days past delinquent. If you notice here, student loans is the red one. I know it's a little busy. Is at around 12%. Credit cards is about 9%. Mortgages is at about 4%. And auto loans is around 3%. So the most delinquencies right now are in the student loan program. And here, on this one, this shows the percentage of delinquencies across the board. It's increased for all ages and all brackets. In 2004, it was around 22% delinquency. 2008, it was at 26%. In 2012, it's about 35%. And this is under 30, 30 to 49, 50 plus, and this is just on average all ages. So you can see it has gone up in every category. This graph shows you the amount of debt and how long it takes you to pay off. I'm thinking he's already been paying it off for a few years, because when you graduate, you're 22 years old on average. This is shown from 25. So from 25 to 32 is 7 years. It took him to pay off $26,000. I did some arithmetic, and that comes out to about $330 a month. You're saying that's not a lot, but if you factor in, you're going to still have an apartment or a home. You're also going to have a car. You might even be married with a family. So a lot of people are pushing back, starting all these things, because they have that $330 hanging over their heads for roughly 10 years. And it's not just the lower and middle income that are feeling the pinch. This graph shows high income has increased from loans from 24% in 1992 to 50% in 2012. Also, it shows the middle class, upper middle class has gone up almost 30%. Lower middle class has gone up about 25%. And lower income, the least amount, because they've always been borrowing about 10%. And this graph shows the laws passed a couple years ago from Congress that will limit how much the student interest rates can go up for secure loans. 2013 for undergrad it's 3.8, 5.1 for graduates, and up to 2017 it's going to be 7, so it's roughly almost going to double to 8.5%. Luckily, my kids will be graduated by then. Sorry. This graph shows the United States and the average debt for each state. As you can see, there's only one state that's below 18,000. I think that's Colorado. The average is in the gold, which is $22,000 to $25,000 in debt. And in the Northeast, 25,000 plus. That's not unusual. I was a little shocked by this. They have Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. There's a lot of state schools there, but they're still incurring more than $25,000 in debt. That was a little shocking. And this is our last slide. This cartoon sums up what most graduates have to look forward to in their future, student debt. And he says, as I look to the future. So that concludes the slides. Before we get done, I'd like to just say one thing. I have two children that are in college. One is a senior and the other one is a sophomore. They both go to private colleges, one in Maine, here in Maine, one in Massachusetts. My daughter, she goes to Bowdoin College. That's a more exclusive school. It's not an Ivy school, but it's a lot harder to get into, say, than your regular private school. Their financial aid package, when she graduates, she'll have about $5,000 in debt, and I have not paid anything towards her school other than a couple $1,000s in the beginning. My son, on the other hand, he's going to have about $20,000 in debt, and we are going to have $20,000 in debt because we've taken out loans because we did not want to see him, start off $40,000 in debt. So there's a lot to think about, and that's one of the things. When you're looking at schools, you might want to go to your favorite school, but look at the financial aid package. Look at the percentage of kids getting financial aid, and that a lot of times is a factor in what school you're going to pick. So I hope this information was helpful to you guys and gals. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And enjoy the rest of your seminar. Thank you.